Hello viewers, this Dial Too Fast here. Check out this custom LED reflector I have on my Honda Odyssey. Now from the factory, the reflectors do not illuminate, but with a little bit of modding, these now will illuminate with a parking light, brake light, and turn signal. Stay tuned and I'll show you how I did this mod. To protect the side of the bumper, you want to put some painter's tape down. Do the same thing on the other side. Remove these two 5mm hex bolts. Same thing on the other side. Underneath the bumper, there are 6 clips you need to remove. 4 of them are along the driver's side, and then you have 2 more in the middle. Let me show you these clips. You look underneath, you want to remove these 2 in the middle, and then there are more clips on the side. Remove those. Now if you have mudguard installed on the vehicle, remove all the screws holding the mudguard, and also the Phillips screw that's on the front edge of the bumper. Carefully pull the side of the bumper out. There are tabs all the way along here. There are also clips along this top edge right here. Here's the driver's side. Pull the side out. Now carefully remove the bumper and place it on a cardboard or a mat so you don't scratch it. Here's a look at the back of the bumper, and this is the deflector. To remove it, you need to squeeze the 2 tabs on the side, and then you push this out. Do the same thing for this one, and it'll come out. Here it is. Here are the 2 reflectors taken out of the Honda Odyssey. The next step is to use a Dremel with a saw attachment to cut along this line right here to separate the front lens and the back part that you see right here. Now, the seal that you see along this edge is not glue, so you cannot bake this in an oven to separate these 2 pieces. Let me show you the saw attachment that I'll be using. As you can see, this saw is very thin. It's perfect for cutting along this edge. Before you do this, make sure you have safety glasses on. Use a small flathead screwdriver and just clean up the edge. Now if you find some of the area still not separated, go back over with a Dremel and repeat the same procedure. Here's a look at the 2 separated pieces. Now repeat the same procedure on the other reflector. Here I have a roll of red 5630 LEDs. Now these LED strips are pre-assembled. What I mean is all you need to do is apply 12 volt to this and the whole entire strip will light up. Let me demonstrate that to you right now. I'll connect my 12 volt power supply. As you can see, all the LEDs are illuminated. And for this project, I'll put 2 strips of these LEDs into the reflector. So it'll be one here, and then I'll have another one on top of it. Now before I install the LED strip, I'll need to drill a hole right here so I can pass the power wire through this hole at the back where the clip is and out to the front. Now I can pass this power wire through this hole. On the back of the LED strip, there's a double-sided tape. Remove the backing. Now you can stick this directly into the reflector. Now when you get to the end, you have to cut at a designated point with these two copper pads. If you cut anywhere else, then it will not light up. So you can cut right here. Now to get this to curve, I'll do a slight bend right here. And then just fold this over a little bit so contour around the edge. Now I'll place a second strip of LED at the bottom here, and I'll stagger the LED. Now I'll solder the black wire onto the negative pad and the red wire to the positive pad. Next, you need to connect these two strips in parallel, so positive to positive, negative to negative. And I have a couple of short jumper wires right here. That's what I'll be using. Let's test it out, make sure it works. I'll connect my power supply to the LED light strip. And here it is. All the LEDs are illuminated. Now one more thing I'll do before I close this up is use a glue gun and put a couple of dabs of glue every couple of inches, and that'll keep the two strips from moving around. And here's a look at the LED strip assembled. When I place the reflector on top of it, it'll look like this. Now I'll connect the power supply and show you what it looks like. Here's a look at both of them done. Now to seal the two pieces back together, I'll be using this 100% silicone. Nice thing about this is it's totally reversible. So in the future, if you have any burnt LEDs and you need to service it, you can pry this back open and then reseal it again with the silicone. Whereas if you use adhesive, it'll become a much bigger job to try to open it up again. Now let this dry for 24 hours. Let me show you how I'm feeding the wire from the outside to inside the vehicle. I have a coat hanger here. Now remove this rubber grommet, and inside here there's a small opening here that I'm able to feed my coat hanger through, and it comes out right here, and that's how I'm going to pull my wire through. I punched a hole in the grommet, fed the wire into the vehicle, and here are the two wires for the left and the right reflector. I'll tie the wire onto the existing wire loom you see right here. Here's a look at the two wires inside the vehicle, also marked left side and right side. Now we can reinstall the bumper. Here's a wire that I ran to the bumper, and I fed it through the hole that matches the same side as a wire that's coming out on the reflector. Now to connect the two together, there are many different connectors you can use. You can use something simple like these bullet connectors. Just crimp it on the wire, and then you can connect the two connectors together. You can also disconnect it. For this install, I've chosen to use Molex connectors. It requires a bit more work to install it, but it has a cleaner look. Now connect the reflector onto the wiring harness. Now looking on the driver's side, behind this panel, you see this blue connector. This is actually a wiring harness for the tow package. So it gives you parking light, turn signal, and brake light on these wires. And we'll be tapping onto these wires for the connection. And here are the two wires ran from the reflector. Now for your reflector light to have multiple function, you do need a control module that I have here. Now there's a company that make these. It's called Corso Motion, and it comes in a pair. And here's a close-up look. The 4 wires on the left will connect to your vehicle. The 2 wires on the right will connect to the reflector. So we have the black, which is ground. The white wire is parking lights. Red wire is brake. The blue wire is your turn signal. And on the right side, you have your positive and negative that goes to your reflector lights. Now before we install the control module into the vehicle, we can clean up some of the wiring so it'll make the install easier and have a nice clean look to it. So for example, on the input side, these 2 black wires, the ground, can be tied together. The 2 red wires for the brake can also be tied together. Same for the white wire, which is your parking lights. And on the output side, these 2 black wire is your ground. You can also tie it to the ground on the input side. Now these 2 controllers are exactly the same, but I went ahead and labeled it left and right so I know when I wire this up which side it needs to go to. From the controller box, these are the 2 output wires. One is for the left side and one is for the right side. Connect the left side to the left reflector light and the right side to the right reflector lights. Let's go over the wiring pinout on this blue connector. If you look on this side, starting on the left side, this blue wire is your left turn signal. Next wire over, the green wire, this is the right turn signal. The pink wire, this is the parking lights. The last wire, the brown one on the right, this is the brake lights. So we'll tap the 4 wires from the controller box onto these 4 wires. The last thing we need to connect is a ground wire, and there's a grounding bolt right here. That's what we'll use to ground it. With everything wired up, clean up the wiring. Here's a look at these lights at night. There's the parking lights. Left turn signal. Right turn signal. Brake. There's the hazard lights. Well, I hope you enjoy watching this video. For those of you who might be interested in doing this mod and adding LED to your reflector, perhaps you'll find this video to be helpful. For some of the parts and tools used in this video, I'll include the link in the description below. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to click on a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, please click on the subscribe button to support this channel. Also click on the notification bell so you'll get notified of my new videos. Thank you and have an awesome day.